Hello, everybody. This is Carl Plays Badly. Making my first real video, I guess. A little bit about me. I am 43 years old. I live in Idaho, from Texas, and I'd like to share a little bit about myself with people. I don't know if anybody will ever see this. Odds are they won't, but um, spend a lot of time trapped inside my own head, and I figured this would be a good way to get it out. Just to maybe get a little cathartic. Fuck, what's that word? Catharsis. It's cathartic. Anyway, just trying to get that out there. So yeah, this is like I said, my first real video, so it's probably gonna be fucked up and not the greatest thing in the world, but oh well. I got a little ghetto set up here, a little Toshiba laptop, and I have a tablet also that I'll be recording on. Um, One of the things I'd really like to cover in these videos is some of my life story, some of the things I've been through. Um, I suffer with PTSD and bipolar mix. Um, the bipolar stuff I've had going on since I was about 6 years old. The the PTSD is something that stems from severe physical and emotional abuse at the hands of my mother when I was a very small child, and I'll be talking a lot about that. So, if you lived through abuse, you had a hard time. If you're still having a hard time dealing with it, and you can't handle um, hearing other people's experiences without uh, tapping back into your own, and don't watch this. You know, if you kind of have a handle on it and you can cope with hearing other stories, cool. Maybe you've never heard anybody else's story. Maybe you've never told your own. Uh, you know, Maybe you'll get a little something out of these videos that I'm going to make. They won't all be about bad things and the things that happen. The bad things that happen to me in life. There will be some funny stories mixed in there because I've done some funny things, I guess. There will be some sad things, some mean things, and there will be videos about other kinds of stuff, such as video games, movies, books, things I enjoy, things that I love, and I'm passionate about. Uh, but first, I think I'm going to start out by just telling about myself. I'm a transplant from Texas. Like I said, I live here in Idaho now. Um, I kind of live the life of a hermit. Uh, I don't go very many places. I go to doctor's appointments and counseling and things like that. And once a week, I go over to Spokane, Washington, and play some Dungeons and Dragons with friends, which I just started doing here recently. And due to my PTSD, it's a very hard thing to do, just to go play a game with some people. It's hard to go out there. It's hard to be around people sometimes. Sometimes, just the thought of leaving my house makes me panic. Uh, but I'm getting better at making myself do it. Uh, that's all I can do is just try. Try to do a little better each time. That's, but I don't know. Like I said, it's hard. I don't know how many of y'all uh, suffer from these kind of things, but it's not fun. I'm not able to work, uh, so I live off a bare minimum of money. Uh, I'm not just a taker. Like people like me. You hear about us uh, getting SSI or Social Security, and you think we're just taking and living high off the hog, but we're not. I do good to pay my bills a lot of the time, and it's not fun. I would much rather go out and bust my ass all day and earn some real money than be stuck in my house, isolated, 24 hours a day and not have shit. So, uh, no, I don't think I'm just a taker. I think I'm lucky enough to live in a country where uh, the government helps people like me. You know, without that help, I'd be living out in the street somewhere, or no, I'd be dead. I couldn't be homeless. I'd kill myself first. Literally, you know, I couldn't live on the street. If I did, I'd go back to a life of crime like I used to live, and I don't want to be that person anymore. And you'll hear a lot about that in future videos. This first video, is mainly me introducing myself to people who will probably never watch. You know. So yeah, this might sound stupid, but I sit around and I talk to myself a lot. I go through my life story in my head, just, you know, pretend like I'm talking to somebody, because it helps me to get it out. And I decided I was tired of talking to myself, so I figured, fuck it, I'll talk to a camera. It makes a lot of sense, huh? So, let's see. I don't really know where to start, you know. I come from a mixed race, interracial couple. My mother and father divorced when I was almost 2. My father was in the penitentiary over stupid shit that he did while he was drinking, and you know, he got caught and he went to jail. I'm not really going to go into detail about that, because I'm not real sure what that first stint, what he did to get in there. But apparently, while he was there, my mother decided to cheat on him, and after that, she told him, and so they got divorced while he was in the penitentiary. And after that, my mother decided she didn't want me anymore, so her mother, who adopted her as an infant, agreed to adopt me. And she was very poor at the time, didn't have any money. So she contacted the next husband of hers and told him the situation. And he remarried her, and they adopted me. And you'll hear me refer to them as my grandparents, grandmother, grandfather, even though they legally were my parents. As I was younger, the few times I was around my real birth mother, whenever she would hear me call my grandma mama, or, you know, stuff like that, she'd beat the hell out of me because it sounded too much like mother. And even though she gave me up, I guess she was still the mother, you know. So yeah, they adopted me, and they were an older couple. My grandfather had already retired from one company and was working for another. And we moved down to the coast, close to Corpus Christi, South Texas, you know. I was a good little kid. I was a teacher's pet in kindergarten and first grade. I loved school. I just couldn't wait to go every day. And yeah, I loved it, man. I loved being there. But when I was 6, my grandfather retired from the second place, and we moved to East Texas, a little town called Mount Enterprise. And it was a culture shock. Like I say, I'm from an interracial family. My dad was black, mom's white. Well, down south, all the kids I was around and the lady took care of me, they were all Hispanic, Mexican. And hardly any white kids in my class, maybe one black kid. I don't even think that we had that. And so when we moved to East Texas, it was all white and black people, and I didn't know how to deal with them. And it threw me for a curve, and, you know, and I went to school, and it was just, I didn't fit. And I remember that first day, you know, I'm 6 years old, I'm in first grade, and I went up to my principal and I asked, how old do I have to be to quit? He told me I had to be 16. So I went home and I told my grandma I was going to quit when I turned 16. And from that day forward, I wasn't teacher's pet no more. I didn't do good in school anymore. I didn't do homework. I didn't study. I didn't do anything they told me. I figured, well, I'm going to quit. There's no point in doing any of this. So I became more of a, I guess, a bad apple. You know, I didn't give a shit. I was disrespectful. They would ship me back and forth from regular classes to special ed. And, you know, this went on for a couple of years, you know. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. They shipped me back and forth between special ed and regular class. And, man, I just hated it. I hated the kids. I hate the teachers. I never dealt with racism. And within a few days of this new school, I was an Oreo. I was an Oreo. I was a nigger. I was half breed. I was a mud baby. I was pretty much anything you could think of. That's what I was, and I didn't like it. I couldn't stand it. So I called my birth mother to see if I could go live with her, and she said, "Yeah, you know." I know she didn't want me. I'm pretty sure she wanted to check that I was drawing off my grandfather's retirement, and so I moved in with her and my stepdad on a Barksdale Air Force Base in Bossier City, Louisiana. That's where the bad stuff started, you know. I had this one memory from when I was about 4 of being the last time I'd been with my mom and my stepdad, and I had been put in a hefty bag. Just luckily they didn't tie it up. They just put me in the bag and they put me out in the trash can all night and locked the lid down, so I had to stay there. And you know, I guess I just wasn't thinking about that, you know, so I went, fuck it, I'll go live with my mom and my stepdad. And the abuse started right after that. And it was intense, you know, for a 6-year-old that had been spoiled. Might have had a couple of whoopings up till then, you know. And these were full-fledged beatings and blood and viscera, you know. It was horrible. And I dealt with it as long as I could that time. It's probably about 4 months before I called my grandmother to come get me. And it just goes to show you how much I hated Mount Enterprise and that school. I took the beatings for 4 months before I went back. And that's enough on a bad subject for tonight. I'm going to end this video here. Probably going to post another video here in a little bit, but it's going to be about something that I really love, which is my favorite movie. So I'm going to get back to my life story soon. Maybe tomorrow. Hell, it might be later tonight. I don't know. It just depends how I feel. This isn't the easiest thing to talk about. You know, nobody receives this. It's still hard for me, you know, just to hear it myself. So if you found this video and you watched it and you liked it, cool. If not, that's cool too. You don't have to watch anymore. I say these aren't really for anybody out there. This is just for me, just so I'm not talking to myself. So yeah, this is Carl Plays Badly, and I'll holler at you later.